Hello, my name is Joe and I'm in my 5th year of studying medicine here at Newcastle University. Today I'd like to share with you my 5 top tips that I would tell my 18-year-old self starting out at medical school. So tip number 1 would be don't expect to be on top of everything by the end of first semester of year 1. Moving to university is a big change, learning to live by yourself, do your own cooking, washing, managing your week, as well as adapting to a new way of learning at university compared to school. And by the time it comes around to Christmas of first year, you may not feel fully settled in, but that's okay, just be kind to yourself, it will come with time, it definitely did for me towards the end of first year. Top tip number 2 would be when studying medicine, focus on breadth before depth. Now by that I mean that often when it came to studying, particularly earlier on in my time at medical school, I'd focus on every single little detail in each lecture before moving on to the next lecture. Over time though, I've learned to accept that I can't expect myself to know everything about medicine, particularly when it's been taught to me for the first time. Now that is exciting because it means that there's always more things you can learn, new things to find out, but in terms of studying, I found that making sure that I covered the core aspects of each teaching session first, before I then went back and revised and added on the extra layers of detail, really helped me to maximise my learning and prepare well for exams. Top tip number 3 would be to be intentional with your rest time. By that I mean that make sure you do have time during your week that you ring fence for time off. For me, I began to find that I couldn't expect myself to be productive all the time, and I've learned that I work best if I have evenings off and if I have one day during the weekend where I do no work. That really helps for me just to keep my work-life balance and helps me to be more productive on the days that I am working. That might be slightly different for you in terms of your timetable, but just, learn and find out what's best for you. Top tip number 4 would be to use your slow cooker. So when I moved away to university, my parents kindly gave me a present of a slow cooker, and that became a very invaluable gift that I used. I would often prep my meal and put it on in the morning before I went to lectures, and then come back at the end of the day, I'd have a nice meal prepared for me, I'd have a portion that evening, and then put away the 4 or 5 other portions into Tupperware, into the freezer, which I could then easily defrost and have another day that might be a particularly busy day. It definitely saved me a lot of time in terms of making sure that I was well fed during my time at medical school. And then finally, top tip number 5 would be enjoy yourself and get stuck in. University, there's a great amount of opportunities for you, lots of societies, lots of clubs, exploring a new city and surrounding areas. And it's great to make sure that you do that and enjoy yourself, enjoy what you're doing, and keeping that perspective rather than getting too lost into doing work all the time. So I hope that's helpful, guys. Best of luck to anyone who's starting out medical school. See you guys soon.